Colson, go Pack, go, baby. Joe, what's going on, my man? Donnie, good morning, bro. Good morning. Go Pack, go. What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily. Thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. It is Wednesday, October 23rd. Happy Hump Day. I hope you guys are having a great week. We are just a few days removed now from the Packers win over the Houston Texans on Sunday. And for me, Wednesday is the day that I officially kind of turn the page to the upcoming game, which is against the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Florida. Now, the last time we played at this stadium, some of you might remember, it was week 1 a few years back where we lost 38-3 to the New Orleans Saints. So hopefully this time around, it'll be a little different. I'm hoping. Hopefully that score is kind of flip-flopped and we can kind of right our wrongs as far as that stadium goes. The Jaguars, they are 2-5. They're sitting at 2-5. They are not very good. Their defense especially. Their defense ranks near the bottom of the league, if not last in the league in most of the categories. Trevor Lawrence, over the last 3 weeks, though, has started to heat up. He's 66 of 89 passing for 798 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 2 picks. So nothing to really gloss over as far as Trevor Lawrence goes. He hasn't really made a whole lot of noise when it matters since joining the league, but as we saw last weekend against the Patriots, he can still rip it. So can't be sitting back and letting him tear us apart all day. I don't believe in trap games, right? I think. But I hope and know that the Packers will be ready for this matchup, ready to roll come Sunday for a noon game, away game. No sleepwalking during this one. It's going to be a little bit hotter than what we're used to here in Green Bay. Up in Green Bay, excuse me. So hopefully they can be ready to rock because we've got the Lions next week, and I don't want to look past this Jaguars game, but can't afford to drop a game to a 2-5 team, regardless of how they've been playing. Their record tells you who they are. They're 2-5. One of those wins was against the Patriots, as I was mentioning earlier. Drake May, the rookie, was starting. And it was over in London. So that's kind of like the Jaguars' second home stadium. I feel like they've played over there more than most teams. So, Joe, can the D be as dominant? I hope so. I'm wanting some turnovers, Joe. I'm a little fatigued after last weekend. Let me see here. Lace over on X/Twitter. Do the J-Love interceptions scare you? Go, Pack, go. They do not. No. At least not at this point. You got to really take into consideration, and I'm not saying you are scared from the interceptions. I know some other people are, but he's only had 1 year of starting. That was last year, and now, 5 weeks of starting this year after missing 2 games. So he's just kind of testing the waters, see what he can do. And, yeah, he's thrown a couple more picks than we'd like to see. But Patrick Mahomes has 8 picks. I know he's had a bad year. Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers has 7. So he's only, 1 more above as far as interceptions goes, above a lot of guys. So, and you got to remember some of those picks aren't necessarily his fault, bouncing off receivers' hands. And, yeah, on the flip-flop, a bunch of them are his fault. Throwing into triple, double coverage, some careless throws, some inaccurate throws. But I think he's going to clean it up. It's still early. And like I said, I think he's kind of just testing the waters. So he'll clean those up. As I always say, you want to be a part of the show? Of course you do. Give me a call on the Nicolet Law hotline and join the show. The number is on the screen, 319-242-2332. Give me a call right now. I'm taking your calls. Join the show, and let's hang out and talk some Packers on the Nicolet Law hotline. Lace, Romeo Doubs has been showing out since being back. You got to love it. Yeah, absolutely. Last weekend especially. I think he had 8 catches for 90-some yards, and 2 of those catches came on the final drive of the game to set us up for field goal range to hit the game winner. Thank you, Brandon McManus. So, yeah, you love to see Romeo back out there. It seems, at least at this point, that whole situation was resolved in the least detrimental way as possible, which you absolutely love to see. I love having Romeo back. Phil, morning, Rob. We've had some great stops on third down, but the frustration and the consistent jumping early going to hurt us big time when it matters. Usually it's number 91 with the eye emoji. Yes, Phil. Preston Smith, he jumped earlier on this season, negating Rashawn Gary's sack. And yes, this past weekend he jumped early again. So got to clean that up. Got to clean up the penalties. A lot of penalties, especially early on in that game. So hopefully they can clean that up and be a little more disciplined. Phil, I agree, because if not, it's going to bite us. And, yeah, that's kind of the next thing on the list to check off, right? Got the kicker spot taken care of with Brandon McManus. Braden Narvison, which seems like a thing of the past. He's gone. And, yeah, the next thing up, got to clean up those penalties because, yeah, like you said, that will hurt us big time when it matters. Donnie, got to do better on stopping the run. Absolutely. Last week, Joe Mixon had 115 rushing yards, but only 34 of them came in the second half on 14 attempts. So he only averaged like 2 yards a carry in the second half. So I think I said it yesterday on the show. I think the emphasis was on C.J. Stroud, really trying to stop him, and they did. And with that, they kind of let Joe Mixon run all over him, at least in the first half. And the second half, they kind of corralled him in a little bit. And yeah, 14 carries, 34 yards. I'll take that every time. So hopefully they can continue on with their second half performance as far as the run defense goes. Thank you, Donnie, for hopping in. My man Rakeem is in the chat. On to the Jaguars. Then bye week, which means technically 2 bye weeks. Hold on here. Rakeem, want to check something out here. I might have been wrong earlier. Let's see here. So, yeah, we got the Jaguars, then the Lions, and then the bye week. So, Rakeem, we got ourselves a stellar matchup following this weekend's game. Can't be looking past these Jaguars, though. I tell you what, you just you never know. You never know. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, as my buddy Ben, the Green Bay guy, says quite often, and that rings true. Any given Sunday, any team can win. We've been seeing it across the league quite a bit this season, so hopefully we can go down there and take care of business. Thank you, Rakeem, for hopping in. I appreciate you. Earl, I got 16th row tickets for the Detroit game. Enjoy, Earl. Be loud, my man. We're going to need you. That is for sure. Kenny, feeling good about this weekend. Packers 38, Jaguars 20. Kenny, I love that prediction, of course, because you've got the Packers winning, which is great. And, yeah, the Jaguars defense, as I mentioned, is not good. So hopefully our defense on the flip side can get back on track and force some turnovers, because I'm a little turnover deprived after not getting any last weekend against the Texans. Kenny's in the chat, 38-20 Packers. I love it. What else we got? Tyson. Nice to see Rashawn Gary grab his first sack of the year. Yeah, Tyson, although it looked like the right tackle that was lined up across from him pretty much just fell over, Rashawn did notch his first sack of the season, and overall played pretty well throughout the game against the Texans. He was consistently in the backfield, causing pressure on C.J. Stroud, which the majority of the defensive line was doing. Hopefully Rashawn can continue to trend in the right direction this weekend against Trevor Lawrence and company. We're going to need him for sure. Phil, Vikings Rams tomorrow night. A guy can hope, right? Let's go Rams, baby. Let's go Rams. I'm a Packers fan first, and then I am a fan of whoever is playing the Vikings because I do not like the Vikes. Mainly because they've kind of been the better team in the North over the last decade or so. And yeah, I just, for some reason, I don't like them. Everything about them is fraudulent. I don't know. Year in and year out, not just this year, but year in and year out, I do not like the Vikes. JD in the chat, love to see the Pack go get Max Crosby at the trade deadline. JD, I would love to see Max Crosby in a Packers uniform, but I do not think that will happen, unfortunately. One can hope, right? As my man Phil just said. Tommy, greetings from Mexico City. Greetings, Tommy. Go Pack, go. Have yourself a great Wednesday. What else we got? Amy, I feel like nobody is talking about the Lions. I think they are the favorite in our division. It's funny, Amy. I was thinking the exact same thing the other day. Lions are right now, as we sit, the 1 seed if the playoffs started today. Now, I know we've got a ton of season left, and almost probably every current seed as it stands right now will be different come the end of the season. But, yeah, the Lions, even without Aiden Hutchinson last weekend, played pretty good against the Vikes. And Jared Goff, in my opinion, Jared Goff, in my opinion, outside of Lamar Jackson, is probably the MVP favorite. So he's been killing it, especially the last 4 weeks. I saw this from Adam Schefter not too long ago. The Lions have scored more touchdowns the last 4 weeks with 18 than Jared Goff has had incompletions with 15. So he's been great under pressure. He's been great when he has time in the pocket. Like I said, though, I'm focused. I'm pumped for this weekend's game against the Jaguars, but next weekend's game against the Lions is going to be an absolute battle. That is for sure. Trevor, thoughts on Eric Wilson's performance? Thought he was, though he was great with a pass rush, but struggled in run defense. Trevor, Eric Wilson had himself another freaking game, didn't he? 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a pass defended. He came in for Quay Walker, who unfortunately left the game with a concussion, and yeah, balled out. So I haven't watched the game back or anything as far as to check out how his run defense was, but overall had himself another great game. So JD, do you see us adding any talent at the trade deadline? Personally, I don't think so. But barring any injuries, yeah, I don't think they'll be shopping or selling. Now, I've seen some stuff about Eric Stokes, trade Eric Stokes for some picks or whatnot. But as my guy Aaron Nagler was talking about yesterday, he said, no offense, but who's going to be trading picks for a guy like Eric Stokes? He's not been good this year. He played, I think, 8 total snaps last weekend. And yeah, I just don't think we'll be shopping or selling, barring any major injuries. But JD, thanks for hopping in the chat, my man. Appreciate you. All right, it is time for the fact of the day. It is a good one. I think you guys are going to love it.
It's time for your Green Bay Packers fact of the day. Brought to you by TickPick. TickPick guarantees to have the lowest prices on Packers tickets. If you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use the code Packers20 at checkout. That's Packers20. This promo code can only be used in the app, so be sure to download the TickPick app today.
All right, your Packers fact of the day. Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has forced 8 missed tackles so far this season, and that ranks first across the league among tight ends. The next closest tight end has forced 4 missed tackles. So clear and above the next guy on this list. And yeah, we've seen it week in and week out. There's a slim chance that Tucker Kraft is going down on first contact, which as Packers fans, we're not typically used to seeing that, especially over the last decade or so. Since Jermichael Finley, it seems like every pass to a tight end in the flat has gone for just about nothing. So nice to see a change of pace with Tucker Kraft out there balling. Shout out to TickPick for partnering up with myself. I used TickPick for the game against the Cardinals that I went to 2 weeks ago. They guarantee the cheapest tickets out there on the market. And if you find tickets elsewhere that are cheaper, they will refund you your money 110% back to you. So, yeah, can't get much better than that. Cheapest tickets. I use them myself. Great to work with. Download the app. Use the code Packers20 at checkout. What else we got? Tristan. Rob, are you playing fantasy football this year? And if so, how are we looking? Tristan, not sure why you had to bring this up. I am, yes, playing fantasy football this year, of course, but I'm not doing so hot. I'm in 2 leagues. One of those leagues, I was 0-6 until last week, and I finally notched the first win of the season. So shout out to myself for putting things together and getting a win. And my other league, I'm 2-5. So not the greatest of starts, but it's comeback season, baby, right? As a previous champion, in both of my leagues, it is my duty to turn my squads around. So it's funny. I feel like in fantasy, when I'm doing great, I always kind of like to pat myself on the back, toot my own horn, take credit for the successful season that I have managed. But when I'm doing bad, I like to shift gears a little bit, start blaming injuries, blame fantasy football overall, kind of claim it's like 90% luck, 10% skill, which at this point, I think that's what I'm going to ride with. It depends on who you're playing, when you're playing them. If your guys are hurt, if you guys have a bad week, it's just, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with fantasy football, and I'm sure everyone else who plays can agree. Thank you, kind of, Tristan, for bringing that up. But hit me up in about 5 or 6 weeks, and hopefully I'm back on track. Hopefully I'll have a better update for you. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as far as content, you guys already know. I'm posting Packers stuff all day, every day, all over the socials. Please be following at GBP Daily. And if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. I will be back and at it again tonight. I got a special guest tonight on the show, and I'm excited to talk about him and his experience this past Sunday at the Packers-Texans game. So check out the socials. I'll be dropping that video later tonight. Keep an eye out for it, will you? You're going to want to see this one. So I'll catch you guys later. All right. Thank you for tuning into the show. I'll be back at it again later on tonight and tomorrow morning. So until then, I will catch you guys later. Thank you.